today's video on planning. Today is 19 weeks out from the Delirious West, I want to say, and it's the last of the kind of four things that I've been talking on the last three weeks or so. So planning, pretty crucial now, more so coming up in the last 20 weeks to make sure we're getting things right. But I want to touch on one of the earlier videos around about week 38. I'll put a link to it up in the side here and down the descriptions. Was on, you know, kind of planning your training blocks and getting prepared for it. So I want to talk, the planning I'm talking about today is more so for the kind of race itself. Some of the things that you might want to be considering, taking into consideration whenever you're planning. So I'm gonna go down through that today. Some of the things that worked well for me last year, and some of the things that didn't work well. You might see that we are down at the lovely Shelly Beach, which is one of your aid stations. I got out for a little run this morning from Light Beach up to Monkey Rock down into Denmark. Very enjoyable. I'll put another video description on how not to get lost in there at some point. But yeah, myself and Louise have hired a camper van down this weekend doing a little bit of recon of the area and of the trail. So, and that kind of where it rolls into the planning aspect of it. So look, before I get kicked off and into it, I hope you are really getting something from these videos. I really appreciate everybody watching them. If you are getting something from the videos, please hit the like button, and if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. We're now getting close to the 80 subscribers, and I'd love to take it over the 100 mark. So let's, as I say, only if you get something out of it. If you're not getting something out of it, please feel free to leave a comment and explain or tell me how I can improve and what you would like to see. So look, getting into today, as I say, planning to me is a big aspect of it. Some of the things that you're going to want to be looking at, and that I'm going to be wanting to look at now, is kind of the last 4 weeks tapering stage, how I'm going to get ramped down, and how I'm going to finish them last 4 weeks so that I'm really fit to race. But as I say, check out previous videos on the training blocks. More so at this stage, if you haven't already, you're going to have to think about what your crew's going to do in terms of how many of a crew you're going to have, whether they're going to sleep, whether they're going to take turns at sleeping, whether you need to book accommodation for them, whether you need to go with the like of a camper van. And me and Louise slept in this thing last night at Denmark, and it was great. So I think we're certainly going to go with a camper van, maybe slightly bigger because there will be a few more crew members. We went with this size for just me and Louise today. Anybody that's concerned, like I've just been coming down to Shelly Beach. This thing's 7.2 meters long, made it down. I wouldn't go anything much longer than that, because potentially we'll struggle to get down around the bends, especially if you're coming down at night time. So keep that in mind. There is a couple of other spots that you won't be able to get till with the height. We came across a campsite yesterday, one of the aid stations, and it was 2.8, and I think we're 3.2, so we couldn't have made it in, and we didn't go to that one. So bear the like of that in mind, you know, just kind of what size your crew's going to be, what potentially you're going to use, and whether it's a couple of 4x4. There's a couple of aid stations that aren't accessible to by LV, two-wheel drive, so you'll need a 4x4. And again, I'll put them couple of aid stations names up in one of these corners here somewhere whenever they come back to me. So crew, not only just about where they're going to sleep, how you're going to feed them, how they're going to feed themselves, because you're not going to be feeding them, but have a plan in place where they can potentially get supplies. I know last year we had an accommodation booked before the race, so they could get started. And then towards the end of the race on the Saturday, we had another spot booked. Now I run into the Sunday and didn't end up staying in the accommodation, but the kids did. Went back and got showered, and I really appreciated that. So I suppose just all them things need to be coming into mind now. You probably want to be starting to look around for crew, talking to people, possibilities. I know certainly last year I went with just whoever was available, which was good. Anybody came down, and I was very lucky a few came down. So again, 19 weeks out, people are going to be making plans, going to be doing things. You certainly want to be starting to try and tie that in. What else have you got? So you've got your crew booked, you've got whether or not you're going to potentially, then you want to be planning your sleep stations, or when you're going to sleep, when you're not going to sleep. Kind of have that in your mind, so you can give that crew to the information to the crew, so that they're then starting to wrap around their heads around that aspect of it. So you've got crew, you're gonna have your sleep kind of strategy, let's call it, worked out. We talked last week about nutrition, so hopefully you've got that starting to get dialed in. You'll have that in place for the crew to go through, because they'll need to know exactly what you're going to eat too. Plan then, have a think about accommodation, whether you're going to want accommodation down after the night, whether you're going to drive back to Perth, whether they have to get flights back to wherever. And I'd highly recommend staying down. Last year we did drive home after the race on the Sunday. I was expecting to be finishing on the Saturday and then go home on the Sunday, but that didn't happen. Louise had work on the Monday, so, and the kids had work on the Monday, so we did drive back. Keep that in mind. It's probably about a 7-hour drive from Albany back to Perth, just to give a heads up. So again, start planning, start putting that in place, what you're actually going to be doing for that. And it's really important to then kind of, we talked about gear in the earlier weeks as well, getting your gear and all sorted out so that you have that plan in place for your gear and that. And it's really so that come the last 4 weeks of the race, you're not sitting stressing and thinking, oh God, this is to be done, that's still be done, and giving yourself more anxiety and more stress, more pressure at that time, whenever you should be just concentrating on the race itself coming up and being able to focus on doing that, putting all your energy into that race. Things can go slightly wrong with your plan, trust me, regardless what you plan, but at least having that base plan in place so that then you can tweak it a little bit either way is going to be a huge benefit to you. So I can't recommend highly enough starting to sit down, nut out the finer details. As I say, it'll take an awful lot of pressure off yourself come closer to the time. Talk to your crew, get them involved in your plans, make sure they're aware of everything leading up to the race. Kind of the last 10 weeks, 8 weeks, you want to be talking to your crew and getting them to buy into it as much as possible, in case anything needs changed or tweaks. The other thing you want to probably think about is car hopping. So whenever you've got a crew member that's running with you from point A to point B, if they've drove down from Perth and they're dropping a car there, how you're going to then get them back to get that car while you keep going on to the next things. Also, you want to probably go with a plan for all the aid station drops. Now, I might have that still somewhere that I had Louise kind of following last year, which will certainly give people an idea on Google Maps just where to jump to and where to go. Download Google Maps offline, it'll be an awful lot of help for your crew. Download the section, so at least a lot of pockets here where they've no service, and that'll help. So as I say, this stage the biggest things that you should be planning for: accommodation, recovery after the race, because trust me, you're not gonna feel like going to work on the Monday or probably the Tuesday. I think I went back on the Wednesday last year, but definitely have a plan in place for your recovery after it. Some like massages, some like walking. There'll be very little training done at that stage, but have that in your mind as well. And yeah, really just go into as much detail as you can with gear, nutrition, crew, and accommodation, transport, and then into recovery after that. As I say, if you're lucky enough that your family's going to be doing crew members with you and going to be supporting you on the journey, enjoy the ride. It will be a stressful time for everybody involved, but it can be quality time too. So I certainly wouldn't put anybody off, and to me I find it extremely helpful having them last year, along as my good friends that came down to support me too. So look, I hope you've got something from this video. As I said before, please leave a comment. Let me know what you think of how your plan is going. Something that I might potentially have missed in this video that you're thinking, God, we need a plan for that too. Stick a comment on the YouTube page so that we can get other people that's watching the video till get them the right information as well, because at the end of the day we're only here to help each other get through such a momentous event like a 220 mile race, 350k. So it's good to have knowledge and people with experience out around doing that, and I'm certainly not the most experienced person out there, but I have learned from my experience last year, and I'm hoping that these videos help somebody that hasn't had that experience. So what I kind of would like to see is us building a community here on this page, where we can, as I say, leave comments and information for others to take away and find it useful. So really appreciate you watching, giving up your time, and I'm gonna knock it on the head now so that we don't go too late, because I'm sure you've got training to do, and I've got to spend quality time with my wife down at Shelly Beach, who is over there meditating, I'd say, and enjoying it. So one last little look, you do come down through this valley, swings round up over that hill to get onto the Bibbleman track, which kind of kicks along that ridge line, and along that ridge line it's fun. I don't want to ruin all the surprise.